Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the penultimate round of GT4 Season 2 being held here in South Africa in the Midrand province at Kyalami. Alex Goldschmidt and Steve Proudly back once again. Steve, well, it's been just a few days since the penultimate round of Season 3 GT3, and now we go into the latter stages of Season 2 here for GT4, but Steve Haley, having done a really good job so far, he's taken the lead from Daniel Jim in the standings by 11 points coming into this round, and also some good performances from the likes of Tim Fulbrook, Angus Martin and Michael Havenden, to name but a few. So the top five covered by 44 points going into this round, Steve. So it could be anybody's, couldn't it, really? And then you look at the Teams Championship. Who'd have thought that? Penultimate round of the season. HF Impala A and Simply Race all tied on 216 points after 4 rounds.
Yeah, it just goes to show the the competitiveness of the racing and the league, and just to mention that those guys in HF Impala and Simply Race teams, they've not often finished close together on at the finish line. They've been positions apart, so it just goes to show it's you never quite know. Got a race tonight and obviously next week as well. Very open. The reverse grid tonight's going to throw a few surprises, I think, because obviously Haley and Jim are starting well back, and Haffenden's up there in 3rd place, so he's primed for scoring some good team points tonight.
So, looks like we've got 23 cars on the grid for the penultimate round of the season. The starting order is as follows. Andrew Ambro and Charlie Crossland will be on the front row of the grid, with Ambro on pole. Michael Haffenden and Ranjiv Kalsi round out row 2 ahead of Paul Lindsay, and a big shout out to our good friend from Express Team UK, Mark Ranbury. Looking forward to our dulcet tones over the next hour or so. Ollie Gill and Stin Panspont round out the top 8 places, with John Aegis and Richard Emery completing the top 10. Then it's Angus Martin, Tim Fulbrook, Richard Pixley, Yannick Müller, Daniel Jim starting all the way down in 15th ahead of Regan Mitchell, Stephen Haley, Reese Wiggin, Rich Smith, Cameron Fife, Aaron Walker, Martin Foster, and I think we've also got Martin Neutelings has decided to rejoin at the last moment.com.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Mark was going to stand down because he wanted to practice for the event on Friday evening, but he decided he couldn't miss the GT4s, and a lot of the drivers absolutely love Kyalami. It's a great track, and he just wanted to be on board and take part in the race. Like I say, the championship is so close. Haley in the middle of the pack with Daniel Jim. He'll have his eye on Daniel Jim. He's not so much got his eye on the win tonight, other than just keeping within a position or so of Daniel Jim. He's 11 points in front of him in the championship, and there's 50 points on the table tonight for a win. But obviously he's got Regan Mitchell in between them, who's no easy man to overtake, as we've seen so many times you know, in this championship.
Not just in this championship, but also GT3s as well. We had that fantastic 90-minute encounter at Barcelona this past Sunday. Daniel Parker cheering his buddy Richard Pixley on. Adam Hodgson says Gilles versus Radbury, the clash of the titans, with a smiley emoji on that one. Andrew Fife, Cameron's relation, says, steady away, Cam. Watch out for the last race's bumper car drivers. Good advice there, Andrew, I must admit. And now we are getting ready to go racing here at Kyalami, a fantastic circuit that we've also had on season 1 of GT4, and also we had season 3 heading there for GT3s too. So it's going to be rather interesting as Ambro and Crossland will lead the field round Ingwe, the final corner on the circuit. 2.814 miles, 4.529 kilometers, 45 minutes of racing action in GT4s. Hold on to something, grab a beer and some popcorn. We are green, and the run towards the first corner through into the kink, and it looks like Michael Haffenden, look, it's 4 abreast heading a little bit further down the order, and there has been a clash, and it looks like that's an Audi that's definitely had a bit of attrition there. I think that might have been Richard Emery, and Mark Neutling's had absolutely nowhere to go. Oh, one of the Simply race cars has been turned around in the process. So a lot of drama, but Michael Haffenden looks to have scarpered away in the distance. He managed to get through. He actually went towards the outside of the kink and then heading into Crowthorne. So the 861 from HF Impala A really doing a number on everybody else. And let's not forget here, Steve, last time out in the Janettas, Haffenden and Fulbrook were very quick. Now we see them in completely different machinery this time around.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you know, Haffenden got a flyer of a start there. Be interesting to see that start again, to see if it was all within line of the lights, so to speak. But I think it was Haley that got a knock from one of the Simply race cars. He's still in 18th place, and his championship rival Daniel Jim up into 12th. So there's a few more cars between him now.
So at the moment, Haffenden leads, and that is by about 1.9 seconds. Andrew Ambro, who started on the reverse grid pole, now in 3rd place, ahead of Paul Lindsay. Ranjiv Kelsey rounding out the... he's now in 4th place. So quite a few drivers. It looks like we've got a driver in 17th position, and that is Niall Schlitter, that is in the BMW, up to 17th, having started all the way down in 22nd position. But Ranjiv Kelsey looking hot, very hot to trot there. And now this is the move that we saw. Now that is Tim Fulbrook, I think, going through the kink, and yeah, there was contact. That was Richard Emery, and then Mark Neutlings is absolutely incited. But Haffenden got a textbook runaway. Mark Radbury getting into the thick of the action, and then there's a turn around. Yeah, you were right. That was Steve Haley, and that was a Mercedes just behind. So in many respects, Steve Haley has got a lot of work to do, but Aaron Walker, the defending champion, who knows he's not going to get the title this time, but he's got to have to start playing the team game now, Steve, because Haffenden's in 1st, Fulbrook in 6th. So the HF Impala A cars looking to lead the way here in South Africa.
Yeah, and we're seeing Kelsey's turning into a little bit of a cork in the bottle here in 4th place. He's just holding a few up, as we see a bit of a replay there.
Yeah, that looks to be Richard Emery, and that's Angus Martin just behind.
But yeah, Kelsey's just holding the rest of the field up here as Crossland and Haffenden sort of getting away from them now, and it won't be long before a few cars make that move on Ranj. He started in 4th and he's got up to 3rd, so he's overtaken Muller.
Yep, so Muller having a bit of work to do in the process. Now this is where Fulbrook, look at this, Steve, I've never seen this in Simsport. We were nearly 5 abreast, and I think Richard Emery lost the back end of the Audi there, and that put him into a little bit of a clash there. And look, that's two Mercedes. That was both Neutillings and Isalovic, I believe. So Richard Emery was side by side with Angus Martin. I think the back end of the Audi just stepped out whilst he was trying to put on the brakes, maybe.
Yeah, before that, actually, just from that angle, he was alongside the Ginetta, and as he moved across, I think he just touched the Ginetta ever so slightly, which set that back end in motion, as it were.
Yeah, that would have been Stin Passpont, if memory serves me correctly, in the 444. But Tim Fulbrook, look at this. This is a great scrap. Ranjiv Kalsi being passed by Yannick Müller. And now Fulbrook gets the run on the 47 Porsche as they go down in towards the kink and then heading into Crowthorne. Great performance so far by the BMWs. Daniel Parker is asking what happened to Pixley down to 21st.
Not quite sure what happened to him. Yeah, I think he may have got caught up in that first corner melee a little bit, but there was a couple of other cars that we didn't identify, so he possibly one of those. But yeah, Charlie Crossland, he's putting a charge on now to try and catch Haffenden. He lapped 4/10 faster than him on the last lap, so yeah, Charlie Crossland's getting his head down now.
Well, remember the performance he put in at Mount Panorama, and that was at round 3 when we got to the halfway point of the season. From 23rd on the grid in the KTM Crossbow GT4, he got all the way up to 3rd place. So now Michael Haffenden is going to have to start defending early. Now, for those wondering at home, this particular race, as with GT4 that we've had ever since its inception for Season 1, what we are doing is a reverse grid, a total reverse grid race. And this is where it really spices things up, Steve. And I must be honest, as here comes Fulbrook, Yannick Müller getting a bit sideways in the Audi. That could have been ever so nasty for the Audi if Yannick Müller had actually gone off the track. And they're coming through to some of the faster parts of the circuit. They're actually just coming through Mineshaft and now heading over to the Crocodiles. And this was a particular prime spot for Michael Haffenden in Season 1. And you can just see that even though that Tim Fulbrook and Michael Haffenden, so we're going to now go to a replay from a little bit earlier on, and I think that that's definitely not very good there. Good evening, Dave Hedges. Top Cat, right? So, Dave, I've got a question for you. Who's Top Cat and who's Officer Dibble? I'm not going to hazard a guess on
please,
that one.
Alex, don't encourage him, please.
Well, we can always encourage Grumpy, can't we? Sorry, I had to get that one in.
Just wanted to point out, I may have made a mistake at the beginning when I said it was Steve Haley that got caught up, because the leaderboard was showing him way down the leaderboard, and he's actually in 8th place. So I'm wondering if it was Aaron Walker that actually got caught up in that initial incident. Either that or Steve Haley has made some amazing ground up, because he's actually the timing screen is showing me that he's now up to 7th place and just 1 place behind Daniel Jim in 5th, Ollie Gill 6th and Steve Haley in 7th. So the championship battle for the drivers is looking hot. What's not looking so hot is the team championship, because we've got Haffenden and Fulbrook of HF Impala in 1st and 4th, so they're doing their chances of winning the team championship a lot of good this evening, as Haley and Walker are their closest rivals.
They are indeed, but look at the lap times from them, Steve. Haley's done a 150.655. That's the fastest lap of the race. Aaron Walker is literally nigh on synchronous with it, a 150.658. So looks like the two Simply Race teammates have managed to dial in these cars. And you can now see Aaron Walker just behind Andrew Ambro in the battle for 8th position. But Steve Haley quite clearly getting a wriggle on us. Now we see Srijan Milasinovic and also Adam Isalovic. But look behind, Cameron Fife is with them. And there is also the number 7 of Richard Pixley as Isalovic goes grass tracking. That's not where you want to do that. Oh, and he tags. I think that's Pixley. He's just tagged. So Pixley gets sent sideways. Isalovic drops. And that's going to be out of the top 15 places. That was a bit of an overzealous move. I think Adam just had a bit of a moment there and might have just outbraked himself going into the Crocodiles there. So, you know, he managed to try and keep it as best as he can, but it just didn't quite work out.
The thing is with the Crocodiles, to be honest, if you just run wide through there, you're on the wrong line. As you see, he's on the outside there, and he'll obviously have it planted, but he's going to run wide. He's always going to run wide there. And obviously, once you're off the tarmac and onto the grass, you're going to be struggling to get that car stopped, and he just unfortunately came back onto the track there at the wrong time.
Yeah, so Aaron is playing the team game according to Dave Hedges. But yeah, Haley's really got the fire in the belly. But Yannick Müller in the number 143 Audi R8 GT4 has set the fastest lap of the race, and it's only 33 thousandths quicker than Steve Haley on that last tour. But then Tim Fulbrook running in the 1 minute 51.0s, and his teammate Hafferden running on a 150.9. So the two BMWs looking pretty quick around here at Kyalami.
Yeah, and I mean, the speaking to Aaron and Steve before the race, they were both really up for this race, both really looking forward to it. As I said in the intro, most of these guys absolutely love this track. It is an awesome racetrack to drive at. But just put yourself in Haley's position right now. You're 11 points in the lead. Your championship rival is only 1 place in front of you. The tactical game would be just to finish that 1 place behind him, and then next week start 1 place in front of him, would it?
Very, very true, but we've just seen him move for third place as Tim Fulbrook has got past Yannick Müller, and that would have been through the crocodiles. And Aaron said, "Hang on, boys, I'm coming." He's just posted that in the YouTube chat. Good lad, Aaron. I'm sure that Amy's cheering you on as always.
I think Amy's typing for him as well.
Yeah, he said, "I'm coming for you, Haley." Oh, well, yeah, I can understand that. But I think at the end of the day, these are two, well-known, well-versed drivers within the community.
Yeah, Muller's really.
You'd called the bluff there. Well done. 10 minutes down, 35 minutes to go here at Kyalami.
I was just going to say,
the season, the penultimate round of the championship.
Muller is really putting the pressure on Fulbrook. He closed the gap by sort of 4/10 last lap, and he's charging for that third place at the moment. So we've got the fast guys up at the front now, and they're all putting good laps in. So things are only going to get hotter as we go on, as we see Walker and looking at Ollie Gill and trying to make a move on him.
I think the only driver out of the top 6 so far that has yet to break into the 1 minute 50 is Tim Fulbrook. He's about 42 thousandths of a second away from that, but he's still keeping a relatively good pace, as now we've got Regan Mitchell just behind Adam Isalovic, so it's the battle of the Mercedes. This is going to be an interesting one between these two drivers. And you can see that there's a bit of front-end damage on Regan's car as we now go on board Aaron Walker's right-hand side of the front splitter on the Aston Martin, as he's now still carrying on chasing down Ollie Gill. And he's just under 7/10 of a second adrift at the minute. But looking at the times, Aaron Walker has put in a 1 minute 50.283 after the completion of lap number 5. That is absolutely Herculean.
Yeah, Ollie Gill really feeling the pressure as well, as he just really went sideways as he came through the crocodiles as well, and allowed Aaron to close right up on the back of him now. And then that Aston Martin's going to look to have a good run down here and maybe have a look into turn 1. Not quite sure if he's close enough, but he'll certainly be thinking about it.
Well, I think Daniel Jim wants the fastest lap now, because he's just put in a 1 minute 50.259 as Aaron Walker goes cleanly up the inside through Crowthorne and then into the Jux K sweep. Nicely done by the defending champion in the number 1 Aston Martin. That was nice and cleanly done, completely textbook, as we come to expect from Aaron Walker there, Steve.
Yeah, really good clean move, and he set that up. He didn't rush it. He just placed the car where he needed it and got the inside line and got that job done. So he's up behind his teammate. His teammate's up behind his championship rival. So I would say everything going according to plan after that shaky little start.
Yep, so at the moment, just under 32 minutes and 45 seconds to go here at Kyalami for penultimate round of GT4 Season 2 here at Simsport Racing. It's Hafferden leading, just fractionally ahead by about 9/10 of a second, ahead of Team Fordzilla's Charlie Crossland. Then it's Tim Fulbrook, Yannick Müller, Daniel Jim, Stephen Haley, Aaron Walker, Ollie Gill, Rich Smith, and Jiri Mahacek rounding out the top 10 positions. Follow that up with Ambro, Milasinovic, Fife, Martin, Pixley, Mitchell, Isalovic, Kelsey, Paspont, and Emery. Then you've got Schleter, Neutelings, Raddenbury all the way down in 23rd. Looks like I think Reese Wiggin has also called it a day as Paul Lindsay rounds out the 24 strong, as that's an absolutely brazen attempt from Aaron Walker by Angus Martin there.
I didn't want to talk over you at that point because but I could see that coming. Angus Martin was hanging it on the outside of Cameron Fife, and Cameron, rightly so, was sticking to his line, and he just forced him out wide, and his line ended up taking him off the track. But Angus did well to hang on to it, and he's still there to challenge Cameron another day.
Yeah, well, you're going to have to watch out, though, Angus, because he's got Richard Pixley just behind him. Number 7, Janetta. And then you've got Regan Mitchell, who's now starting to break away from Adam Misalovic. We now go on board with Daniel Jim in the number 71, closing on Yannick Müller in the 143. As we fast approach, nearly a third of this race completed on the brakes. Oh, that was close if ever you thought it from Daniel Jim. That was absolutely textbook. Just saw Müller put the brakes on. The LED lights on the back of the Audi lit up like a Christmas tree, and Jim quickly darted to the left-hand side, nailed the move perfectly.
That was a 10-10 smooth, was that? That was absolutely on the limit. A mere mortal would have probably hit the back of the Audi, but Daniel Jim just showing why he's so quick and why he's fighting for the championship lead. As we're looking at Angus Martin now, who's still trying to get past Fife, and he's also got Pixley still right up behind him as they're going through the S's, I believe, and up towards Le Cop.
Yep, so looks like Martin's managed to keep it on the Blackstaff. Fife just behind. Where's Pixley gone?
He just had
contact
with Fife. Yeah, he just had contact with Fife, and he ended up off the track and into the wall, unfortunately. Not quite sure exactly what happened, just caught the tail end of it.
Yeah, I think it was like Richard was there 1 minute, gone the next. So that's a real shame for Richard. But Steve Haley now getting past Yannick Müller. So this is going to be very, very interesting. They're heading through down towards Crowthorne. Up the inside goes Steve Haley. He's now got Daniel Jim and Tim Fulbrook in his crosshairs. And Daniel Jim still holding the fastest lap of the race of 1 minute 50.259. We're on lap number 9 with 29 minutes and 30 seconds still to go. And it looks like that lead between Hafferden and Crossland has opened up quite substantially there, Steve. It's about 2.6 seconds.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm quite impressed with Hafferden because in the opening laps, the opening sort of 2-3 laps, it looked like Crossland was going to close on him. He was nearly half a second a lap faster, but Hafferden's got into his rhythm, and he's matching Crossland, really. They're sort of lapping lap for lap, and as we see in this replay now of the Cameron Fife Pixley incident, maybe as they come up the hill. Yeah, just a contact there.
Yeah,
and
they're coming up the hill.
Off,
yeah. It's a real shame for Richard, but that was close for Isalovic and a few others going past. But Pixley now back on the road. However, he is now down in 22nd, and he's actually parked it in the pits. Whether he's had enough damage that...
Yeah, what is becoming obvious to me is Steve Haley has got the measure of Daniel Jim in this race, because whenever Daniel Jim gets past a car, Haley's following him through, and he's able to close that gap down again. You know, he's closing back up on Daniel Jim as we're speaking now. You know, he's I think he's got the measure of him, and I think he is playing the championship game. He's not going to do anything rash. He's just going to stay in touch with his rival.
I think also the fact that Yannick Müller is also keeping it nice, calm and consistent. I mean, he's been running in the 1 minute 50s, 52.5s at the moment. His best lap in the Audi was 1 minute 50.6. Angus Martin now having to battle away, and I'm just wondering who is that behind him. I think, well, Regan Mitchell looks to be a couple of cars behind, so that might be a car that is just a back marker at the moment, as Sim Passport battling away with Adam Isalovic in the 111 Mercedes. And just behind them, they've got Ranjiv Kalsi, who has tumbled down the order quite proverbially. So he's down in 18th position.
Yeah, just to note as well, Daniel Jim, Steve Haley are currently the fastest two guys on the track. I mean, we're only talking a couple of tenths, but they are the quickest guys on the track. So obviously, they'll be homing in on Tim Fulbrook next and putting a challenge on that final podium position. And maybe then Steve's interest will be spiked and he'll try and go for the podium and put a move on Daniel Jim.
I think Tim Fulbrook has also responded, because he's just put in his fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 50.439. So he knows that Jim and Haley are closing, and he's having to respond and put in some hot laps, some quali style laps, as we're fast approaching about 3 or so minutes away from the half halfway point of this penultimate round of the season. So Fullbrook definitely being given the hurry up there.
Yeah, and what's interesting is Haffenden and Crossland's last lap were both in the 151s as well, only just, but they were 151s, so they were sort of a good half-second slower than the guys chasing them. So that this the gap could come down, and this could turn into a 3- and 4-way battle.
Well, we've seen that before, haven't we, Steve, here in GT4, and it's been rather entertaining. It's been so close all the way through this season. Just got that feeling in my gut that Jim and Haley could be battling. If they get up close to Fullbrook, get past, then they'll have a bit more work to do. They might just try and work together to get past Crossland and Haffenden and then battle it out for the lead. Could be quite rather interesting. Then it puts them all the way down at the back of the grid for the final round at Laguna Seca in a week's time.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the advantage Haley's got is he's got a teammate on the grid. Unfortunately, Daniel Jim hasn't. So, if teammates can help you, then he's got some help on the grid. But looking at Slovic, he's had obviously a couple of incidents and he's down in 16th place, but he's chasing Fife and he's got Passpont behind him. He's surrounded by Janettas.
Yeah, so it's going to be rather interesting over the next few laps. Sorry, we seem to be having a little bit of a technical difficulty from my end, so I'm just trying to close a couple of things down, so with me.
Yeah, just in the chat, Daniel Parker looks like Pixley's retired. He's not had much luck in this race, so he's still showing us circulating, but he's in 23rd on the timing screen. It's not showing as him in the pits. But we're looking at Passpont trying to make a move on Adam Azelovic at this moment in time. He's just trying to throw it round the outside. That is very well done, 2 by 2 there as they went through Clubhouse Bend and now into the S's. Adams managed to maintain that position, but only just. And Passpont by no means has not given up on this move. He's going up side by side as they go into Le Coupe. I would say the slowest corner on the track. He's going to try to go all the way around the outside. In the slipstream, down the mine shaft. It's brave or brazen, I'm not quite sure which he's going to be, but he's certainly trying to put a move on Adam. Adam doing very, very well to fend him off there. He's holding that position, but he's certainly under a lot of pressure. I'm just wondering what damage he may have on that Mercedes with a couple of issues he's had. Paul Lindsay just in the chat, he's got brake issues. Game isn't giving me full brakes, only getting like 85%. So yeah, that's never good if you haven't got full brake, Paul. It's quite fundamental to driving fast, is being able to stop quickly, mate. Just looking at Adam, he's still under pressure coming into turn 1, and it's looking like Ranjiv Kelsey's having a bit of a second wind as well. He's trying to make up ground and trying to, as they both run wide, and Ranjiv really capitalising on that. And Passpont under pressure as they go 2 by 2 now into the sweep and then barbecue. And Ranjiv's got that move done, but Passpont's going to get the cut back and take the position back. Absolutely awesome racing from those guys. But yeah, Ranj definitely got second wind. He started in 4th position, dropped back down to 18th, but like I say, he's got fire in his belly and he's having another go at this. Angus Martin looking to make a move on Ambro. Angus Martin, again, another one that dropped down the board a little bit at the start, but he's certainly proved his worth in this GT4 championship this season. And a man that's he's impressed, because the BMW isn't the easiest car to get the most out of at all the tracks, but he's had some pretty good results, and he's looking to capitalise on that now. You've seen Passpont in the top of your screen there, right up behind Azelovic, and really looking to try and put a move again down the mine shaft. And the mine shaft is really, it appears nice and wide and that you could possibly go through 2 lines, but you're so committed that if you are not quite on the right line, you will run wide and onto the grass. Angus Martin looking a little bit impatient now behind Ambro, and he's really trying to get the move done, trying to get the job done, but he's in the slipstream now, so he could be looking good for a turn 1 move. He just needs to be careful, not show his hand too early, and get that BMW into position, which he's doing now. Fantastic move, really clean. Gets it stopped, gets it turned. almost hits the apex, but there's nothing Ambro can do about that. He's blocked him and he's gained the position. Angus Martin now looking to capitalise on that manoeuvre, and he's got Dewey up front in P9 in car 665. Dewey making his comeback to Simsport. He's not raced with us for a few seasons. Just Archie's just pointing out where's Crossland, and just looking up the leaderboard. Where is Crossland? What's happened to Crossland? Missed anything? Missed that one. I'm wondering if he's put the KTM into the wall or something, or he's had a disconnect, but we've not seen anything of him, so I'm not quite sure where he's gone now. Passpont really pushing hard, trying to get back onto the back of Azalovic, but he's got Kelsey all over him again. Those two are really going hammer and tong as Kelsey's trying to put it on the inside of Lecop. Going to go 2 by 2 down the mineshaft. And indeed, Ranger's got the job done, but he's going to have to defend it now as they go into the Crocodiles, down the mineshaft towards the Crocodiles. Range onto the grass, but he's got the inside line. If he can get that car stopped and turned, he's going to run wide, which is going to open the door. Indeed, sideways. Daniel in chat, he did start, mate. He was running in second place, and he was in a strong second. So just to put you in the picture, Alex is having a few technical issues with the Discord communication, so he'll be back as soon as he can get sorted out. Until then, we'll try and keep you informed and keep you going as a bit of a one-man show. Looking at Passpont now, he's managed to break away from Kelsey after Kelsey made that little bit of a mistake in the Crocodiles. He's concentrating back on the back of Adam again, and looking to put a move on very, very close there as he took all of the curb. Looking back from Fullbuck and Daniel Jim and Steve Haley, all in very, very close attendance now. Now, let's not forget Daniel Jim, Steve Haley are battling for the championship. Steve Haley 11 points clear of Daniel Jim at the moment, so I do think that Steve's really just playing the championship games. Steve's actually run wide in the Crocodiles by the looks of that, so not very characteristical of Steve to make a mistake like that, but commentators curse the director mentioned there, but he'll regroup, get his head down, and as I said earlier, I think he's got the pace. I think he's just playing the long game, and he's just holding station. Passpont still trying to get past Azalovic as they go back into the mineshaft again. He's going to try and get the run down and possibly make a move into the Crocodiles as they go into the braking zone, but I'm not quite sure he's close enough, and that Mercedes really stretches its legs when it comes to the speed. The Ginetta's really, it's probably more agile than the Mercedes, but it just can't match it for grunt and speed. Aaron Walker still with the fastest lap of a 150.2 in 5th place, just holding station behind his teammate. Looks like Kelsey's regrouping as well, and he's closing that gap down to Passpont again. So, credit to Ranj, he's dropped a lot of positions, but now he's got his head down and he's looking to have another go and try and move up the order a little bit. Adam Azalovic having to work very, very hard with Passpont behind him. He's really having to defend hard. He's not really getting much of a breather. Passpont really, Adam's having to jink left, jink right, but Passpont really just putting him under pressure as they go through Sunset and looking to go towards a clubhouse bend, maybe a move. No, but Adam's going to block the inside line. He's going to hold that apex, and there's nothing Passpont can do about it. But this battle has allowed Kelsey to close right back up on them again, as they are actually closing in on Cameron Fife as well in 14th place. So this is going to turn into a 4-way battle very, very soon.
Sorry about that. I've had some slight technical difficulties.
Back
Can you
up the
hear
front
me,
with Fullbrook
Mr.
now
Bradley?
under pressure from Daniel Jim. Into the slipstream now on the start finish straight with Haley and Walker in fairly close attendance. Haley's just dropped back a little bit after that mistake on the previous lap. So just bear with us, still having a few technical issues with the audio for Alex Co-Coms, but yeah, we are back racing up at the front with Fulbrook, Jim and Haley. So Fulbrook still under attack from Daniel Jim. Daniel Jim's going to really put him under pressure. He's going to want to put a car in between himself and Haley if he can, just to try and gain a few points in the championship. And good evening to Kieran Vidago. Hello, mate. How are you doing? Ben Holmes, good evening. Glad you could join us. If you're liking what you see, guys, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share the stream. Let's see how many people we can get watching. So Fulbrook in second place from his teammate Haffenden, so they're doing a great job now for the team standings. Just is Fulbrook going to be able to hold off Daniel Jim? They've got 15 minutes left to go. As we see Azalovic, Azalovic pass won't come together. That was, I won't say it was inevitable, but they've been close for a few laps.
Right, sorry about that. Quite a few technical difficulties from my end there. Sorry, Steve, but thank you for holding the whole fort, my friend.
Oh, mate, I missed you.
Like a bad habit.
Oh, you just missed pass. I'll just try and get you up to date, buddy. Passbomp was looking to make a move on Azalovic, but he had contact and took him out a little bit. We've seemed to have lost Crossland for whatever reason. We're not sure from second place. Fulbrook, Jim and Haley are obviously, as you can see, now in very, very close attention and having a bit of a ding-dong.
Yeah, and it's definitely getting a bit close and personal at the front of the field as we've got Fulbrook, Jim and Haley battling over second position. But also it's more important in terms of the team standings here because Steve Haley is in fourth, Aaron Walker up to fifth now. This is where it's going to get really, really interesting, isn't it, Steve?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, I've been saying all race long that Steve Haley's going to have his eye on Daniel Jim for the driver championship. As we go back to a replay now, this is going to be the Passbont and the Azalovic incident, I believe.
Yeah, they're both going to the corner.
Both sides.
Azalovic was actually he was ahead by the slightest amount of margin.
Yeah, it's up here at Le Cop that I think the incident occurs.
Oh, that was a bit of a nasty hit.
Yeah, just very, very late on the brakes there. And, unfortunate accident, but looking at Jim and looking to put a move on Fulbrook, as Haley's also looking to put a move on Jim. As I was saying, Haley will have his eye on the Drivers' Championship with Jim, but obviously he'll also now be looking at Haffenden and Fulbrook and thinking, well, actually that's the team championship as well in front of me.
Yeah, that's once bitten, twice shy, I think.
So yeah, he's still playing the waiting game. Is Haley. Daniel Jim's obviously not wanting to do anything silly either. He's got his rival behind him, so he's not wanting to make contact. He's just going to drive a sensible race. But obviously second place is in front of him, and as a race driver, you want to finish as high up that podium as possible. So I do think he's going to be looking to apply the pressure and try and force a mistake or open the door at the very least to get a move done.
Yeah. Just looking at Haffenden's gap though, nearly 7.6 seconds over his teammate as Fulbrook runs wide. That allows Jim to get through.
That's the mistake he was looking for. But yeah, as these are battling, Haffenden's just managed to pull out as Fulbrook tries to cut back, but Jim's got it done all the way down the outside as Haley's also looking straight, take the faster line, and he switches back, but he's just not quite close enough. But Daniel Jim got that move done there before they went into the mine shaft, and that's a good move from Jim.
Yeah, pretty much textbook there, Steve. But now Haley is going to have his opportunity. He's right on the back bumper of the BMW of Fulbrook. And this is going to be rather interesting in the next couple of corners or so, because now they come through the final corner at Ingwe. 11 minutes and 30 seconds still to go. And Haffenden now on the 19th lap of the race. We go on board on Tim Fulbrook, just off of the exhaust tips of the M4. You can just see how much closer Steve Haley's trying to get, and he was 0.3 of a second across the line behind Fulbrook. But we know the pedigree of Steve Haley here, Steve, and he will not stop fighting until the checkered flag.
No, absolutely not. But what that straight did there, it demonstrated the power of the BMW over the Aston. You know, the BMW is good for the straight line speed, because Steve was fairly close as they came out of the final bend there, and he just couldn't stay with him down the straight. Even in the slipstream, the BMW just stretched away a little bit. He's going to have to do a Daniel Jim. He's going to have to keep the pressure applied. He's going to have to try and force an opening like Daniel Jim did, and he's going to have to do it sooner rather than later. Otherwise, Jim's going to pull a gap on them.
Yeah, I completely agree with that, because it's all about how much Fulbrook is able to pull away.
Yeah, Steve's
the straights, but then in the twisty stuff, Haley's able to catch up with him.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what he's demonstrating now. He's just closed right up on the brakes there again, but the BMW just seems to be getting out of the corners that little bit better than the Aston Martin. But you know, Steve's playing the long game. Like I say, he's just going to sit there. He's taking a wide entry into the Crocodiles, looking to try and carry as much speed as I think that's just Mark Roddenberry getting out of the way as his lap there. But yeah, he's definitely trying to you know, put the pressure on Fulbrook and get as close as he can for this start-finish straight, and so he can really hang on as he comes right up behind him now on the brakes and even actually going alongside him. So it's going to be
so we've got just under 10 minutes to go.
Yeah, he just
sorry,
didn't
Steve.
Steve. No, it's okay. He just didn't quite have the legs there coming down the straight, and you saw straight away he got alongside coming out of the corner, but then he's diving down the inside now on the brakes. Is he going to get that apex? He is. He's more or less carried out a block pass, but Fulbrook's still hanging it round the outside, and he's Haley on the inside. Eventually, 2 corners later, gets the move done. Well done to Tim Fulbrook, and well done to Steve Haley there. No contact side by side through 2 of the corners, and swap places as many times, and Steve's come out in front. But Fulbrook by no means has given up as they go through Sunset side by side. That's brave. Heading into Clubhouse Bend. And Haley's managed to hold the position, as I believe Fulbrook's really hanging it out round there, trying to get that position back, but he's not managed it, and Haley's got the job done, and he's back up behind his championship rival Daniel Jim.
Apologies for that. I've a bit more technical difficulties my end. Really sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, Steve Haley, he's done a great job so far.
He's driven a very sensible race, as we'd expect from Steve. There's no rash moves, there's no haste in it. He's just he's very measured. He's not wanting to get involved in any incidents, no contact. He's wanting to finish the race as strong as possible, and he's just got one eye on Daniel Jim all the time. So it's Daniel Jim second, well, Michael Haffenden first, Daniel Jim second, Steve Haley third, Tim Fulbrook fourth, Aaron Walker fifth, Muller 6th, Smith 7th, Gill 8th, Martin 9th, and Regan Mitchell, who we've not talked about a lot in this race, rounding out the top 10.
Yep, so just under 7 3/4 minutes still to go, and Haffenden has a lead of around 6.3 seconds over Daniel Jim. Yeah, it's been a brilliant performance from Haffenden so far.
Yeah, again, one of those performances. The reverse grids so often throw up these types of performances where, you know, the guys, if they get a good start, it gives them a chance to get the head down and just put in some very consistent lap times and just, you know, stretch that lead. But just talking of lap times, Daniel Jim, obviously, he's now got himself into clear air, into second place, and he's just put his own personal fastest lap of the race in with a 150.223 compared to Aaron Walker's fastest outright lap of the race of a 150.202. So he's not far off fastest lap pace. Now he's got some clear air. And that was just to add to that, that was a second faster than Michael Haffenden on the last lap alone.
Yeah, as Chris Crossman says, great battle between Haley and Jim this race. They're about nearly 2.7 seconds adrift of each other, as Tim Fulbrook is only 6/10 approximately behind Haley. So the BMW really on par with the Aston Martin in this round here at Kyalami here, Steve.
Yeah, I think it's one of those, like you said earlier, the Aston does seems to handle the twisties a little bit better, but there is just enough straights to balance it out for the BMW to have a good race as well, and really sort of show its pedigree and performance. And it's, like you say, Fulbrook's doing well to hang on, and Haffenden in the BMW is out in front, 6 seconds clear. Daniel Jim is closing, but has he got enough time with 6 minutes left? I don't think so. I think if Haffenden keeps his nose clean and just keeps doing the lap times he's doing, he should be okay.
Yeah, so for those wanting to get involved with the community here at Simsport Racing, head to our official website, simsport-racing.com. You can find our respective links for social media, Twitter, Instagram. You can also find our Discord server as well. And also stay tuned for what's going to happen on Friday night in just 2 nights' time. That's going to be an absolute belter with the virtual 3 hours of Silverstone, courtesy of Jensen Team Rocket RJN, MSL Motorsport Consultancy, the Virtual Reality Racing Clubs, and Show Simsport. It's going to be a fantastic race. It's going to echo the 500 miles that normally takes place in British GT, and it's happening this coming Friday. We've got brilliant lineups all the way up through the GT3 and the GT4 orders. As we've got 5 minutes to go here, Steve. Daniel Jim not closing on Michael Haffenden, and Steve Haley, I think, is just reserving himself to the fact, well, if I stay in third, I'm going to be a place ahead of Daniel Jim, as you were alluding to earlier in the broadcast, for the next race.
Yeah, absolutely, and just seen Passport make an absolutely fantastic move on Ambro there. The Ginetta managed to get alongside the Aston and actually beat him down the start-finish straight, which for the Ginetta is awesome because it's not the quickest car in a straight line. I would have expected the Aston to actually, beat him down the straight, but Passport managed to get that move done. So really well done to him, and he's been battling for the whole race with somebody. We saw him have that little incident with Zalovic earlier on, but yeah, he's been in the wars, he's been battling, and he's still racing hard with just 4 minutes left to go.
Right. Sorry, I'm just having a bit of technical difficulties at the moment, Steve. Sorry about this.
It's all right, mate. I'll draw breath and carry on. Daniel Jim just putting in another lap that's nearly a second faster than Haffenden, so he's not given up on that top spot of the podium. But with 3 minutes 50 seconds to go, I think he's going to do really well. Fulbrook, another man that hasn't given up. Haley's managed to get the job done, get past him, and he's hanging on to Haley. Haley's not so much as hanging on to Daniel Jim. I'm just wondering if there's a bit of team tactics going on here, and Haley's trying to slow Fulbrook down a little bit to get Aaron Walker into the mix and get him in front of Fulbrook, just to play the team game and try and get that team championship a bit, keep it close.
Yeah, apologies, ladies and gentlemen. I'm having some major problems, still having technical problems here. So just please bear with me, Steve. I'm going to let you go solo for a minute. I'll be right back with you, buddy.
No worries, Alex. Cheers, buddy. So yeah, Haley into third, Fulbrook hanging on in fourth, and it's looking like Walker's going to close up. We could have a last couple of lap battle here for this fourth place, as Walker is closing in. Walker's last lap was a 50.47 compared to Fulbrook's 51.009, so a good half second gained on him in that lap alone. So he's definitely trying to put himself in position to take that fourth spot from Fulbrook. Obviously, these are the two teams as well, the HF Impala of Fulbrook and Haffenden, that are battling with the Simply Race team of Haley and Walker. Coming into this round, they were absolutely level on points, and that was 216 points per team. And yeah, definitely would be advantageous for that Simply Race car to get in front of the HF Impala of Fulbrook. We're looking at Jury up in the top screen there in 11th place, just coming under fire from Misalovic, and he's managed to hold him off by the looks of that. The Porsche does put in a good performance round Kyalami in the right hands with the right setup, it's not a bad all-round car to drive the GT4 Cayman. Good car in this class. It's probably one of the best all-round cars in the GT4 class. You see Walker's now within 7/10 of Fullbrook up ahead. He's really on the back of that BMW now. Fullbrook putting in an absolutely fantastic performance, though. He's not buckling under this pressure. I do believe Haley's eased off and he's looking for the finish, really, and not looking to stay with Jim, who Jim's now 5 seconds behind Haffenden, so 1 minute left to go. He's not going to be able to catch Haffenden, but a good effort. He's closed that gap down by sort of approximately 3 seconds in the last sort of 6-7 minutes, so putting a very good effort.
Yeah, definitely has been, Steve. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, loud and clear, Alex.
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm going to be running about 30 seconds behind Steve, so I'm going to let Steve take the lead on it. But yeah, Haffenden's done a really good job. Fullbrook's been really, really good in the way that the HF Impala drivers have really brought the fight to the Simply Race racing team of Steve Haley and Aaron Walker. So I can't really sort of give them enough plaudits and probably enough superlatives to sort of just say what an absolutely fantastic job they've done all evening. But Steve Haley, I think for me, literally charging back as we've seen him do time and time again. He's just done an absolute mega job, and he's bringing the fight to Daniel Jim.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this battle between these three guys in particular is just showing why these two teams are at the top of the table. As Haley, he's not doing anything silly now, but Walker is 2/10 behind Fullbrook, and he's really applying that pressure. But Fullbrook, is credit to him, he's soaking up that pressure at this moment in time as they're just heading through sunset. Walker's really, he's just. You can tell that Walker's possibly got more pace than Fullbrook, but he's just not allowed to unleash it because Fullbrook's driving the perfect line and not letting Aaron get a look. But yeah, they're just going into the S's now, and Aaron is really applying the pressure. Fullbrook's just absorbing that pressure now as they're going up to look up. Aaron's looking to the outside, but I'm not quite sure he's going to get that round there unless he can get the cutback, although he's alongside and trying to go around the outside. It's a textbook manoeuvre if he's trying to get the cutback, which I'm not quite sure he's close enough to do, and he's going to have to fall back in behind Fullbrook, and he's managed to keep that position again. This GT4 class, Alex, I'm sure you'll agree, has absolutely thrown up some fantastic racing this season and the previous season for us.
Yeah, definitely. I think Aaron Walker trying to be brazen enough to throw it around the outside of Loikop on Tim Fullbrook has to be admired and respected just by the sheer sort of commitment and will from that. But I see that the timer has hit 0, Steve. Yep. Do you want to call it to the end, my friend?
It has. Checkered flag. Michael Haffenden taken that first place. Daniel Jim second. Steve Haley third. Tim Fullbrook in a well-fought fourth place. Aaron Walker fifth. Muller brings it home in sixth. It should be Rich Smith coming round in 7th when he gets to the line. But yeah, absolutely fantastic battle from those front guys, and respect to Fullbrook and Walker there for that last couple of laps of battling, no contact whatsoever. Very, very close racing.
Yeah, and thoroughly enjoyable in the same aspects as well. But what a great race. Michael Haffenden from HF Impala A really bringing the fight to the Simply Race team. But, Steve Haley doing a cracking job getting third. Daniel Jim, he's kept the title alive right up until Laguna Seca in just a week's time when we crown our Season 2 champion. And obviously we know that that's not going to be the case, that a certain driver by the name of Aaron Walker is going to be defending that title. However, it really, really does make for an interesting title dynamic when we head to Laguna Seca in just a week's time, Steve.
Well, Laguna Seca, as you say, it's going to be fantastic. It's going to decide the team championship and the drivers' championship, because nothing has been settled this evening. In fact, the drivers' championship's got maybe a couple of points closer. The team championship's still only going to be split by a few points either way. I think it's going to be an absolutely awesome battle at Laguna. Absolutely everything on the line to race for.
Very, very true, and hopefully we'll be able to speak to our top 3 very, very shortly. But don't forget to tune in this coming Friday, just 2 days from now, the fantastic virtual 3 hours of Silverstone with commentary from Chris Buxton, Lewis McGlade, and of course Simsport Racing's very own Steve Proudley. It's going to be one that's going to be really interesting. Of course, Season 2 for GT4 closes up in just a week's time at Laguna Seca. Couldn't think of a better place to have the season finale once again. But Steve, it's going to be pretty interesting when we go to California, to Salinas, to WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca next week on Wednesday evening at 8 p.m. British Summer Time. It's going to be a cracker, mate. I can't wait to see who we crown as our Season 2 Drivers' Champion, but then also we crown our inaugural Teams Champion next week.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. I mean, obviously, thinking back to Season 1, Aaron Walker ran away with it a little bit, but this season it's definitely been a battle to the end, and Laguna Seca is an absolutely awesome driver's track. It really, it's a very technical track, obviously not just the corkscrew, but it's quite a low grip track as well. So the guys will be practicing hard. It's a track we've visited a few times, so it'll just be a case of fine-tuning the setups and getting the practice in and, going for gold, as it were.
God, crikey, I remember that game show back in the day. Oh, crikey. You're bringing back memories of my childhood there, Steve. And that has actually given my age away a little bit there as well. But looks like we've got someone with us. Steve Haley, a spirited drive there, 3rd place, but it keeps the title fight open until Laguna Seca next week between you and Daniel Jim. Fantastic performance. Just tell us about your race more than anything, buddy.
I was fairly confident of a good result. Unfortunately, the first corner, the first lap, I think I got turned on the corner. I think, and then there was a Porsche sat on the corner, and I thought I'd done enough just to get past him, but I just didn't. I just clipped him a little bit, but after that, it was just a steady case of trying to catch Daniel. My main aim was to either finish one spot behind Daniel or beat him, just championship points, really.
Yeah, I think Steve did actually point that out earlier on in the broadcast, that would be one of the tactics that you would employ, the Formula 1 that you've just spoken about, and that puts you into a good position going into the season finale in a week's time. But obviously, Fullbrook and Haffenden, we do need to talk about them, because HF Impala did a really good job this evening. These guys were quick in the Genettas last time when Season 1 of GT4 came here, but in the BMWs, they've really turned a corner, and that has really put things very close between you and between those two guys and you and Aaron at the Simply Race team and the pair of Astons.
Indeed, they've done a really good job, to be fair. They've consistently kind of scored the points, and that's what counts, really, for the team points, I guess. But I mean, they start behind us. Well, one of them does. The next race, I think we'll be fairly strong at Laguna. I like Laguna, so and I know Aaron does as well. So we shall just have to see how it goes. Hopefully, there's no first corner pile-ups, and hopefully we get through and get on all right. If they chuck a bit of weather in there, then it'll be even more exciting, won't it?
Yeah, can I just
indeed?
Steve,
well, thank you very much,
Alex.
Steve. Oh, go on, Mr.
So
Brad.
just put Steve on the spot a little bit, because I know he likes it when I do that. But you managed to pass Tim Fullbrook. I won't say easily, but you caught up to him with Daniel Jim. You looked like you had a lot more pace than Fullbrook. You were lapping a good half a second and even nearly a second lap faster at some points. Once you got past him, you seemed to sort of resign yourself to that position a little bit. Did the team championship come to mind? Maybe a little bit of holding Fullbrook up a bit and dropping back to Aaron to try and help Aaron get past him? Was that a tactic?
If I'm totally honest, my tyres were done.
Not as exciting as my conspiracy theory, mate.
No. I mean, I was watching Aaron, and before I managed to get past him, Tim, I could see that Aaron was starting to close, and I thought, if I manage to get past him, if he makes a mistake or whatever, Aaron will get even closer. But I mean, yeah, I don't think there was any way I was going to catch Daniel. I think I had 15 seconds worth of damage from the punt, and I just had to kind of settle and go with what I had.
Okay, mate, no worries. Sorry to put you on the spot there, buddy, but thought I needed to ask that question.
Anytime, mate. Anytime.
Well, it does add a bit of spice in the interviews there, Mr. Proudly, I must admit. So well done, Steve. Congratulations and good luck next week at the season finale at Laguna Seca.
Thank you very much, Alex. Cheers, Steve.
Well done, Steve.
Thank you.
Okay, let's have a chat with our race winner from HF Impala A. Well done, Michael Haffenden. Blinding performance. You literally, you were like a rat up a drain pipe. You got away and no one could catch you there.
Yeah, thanks, Alex. It was a interesting first lap. I knew I had to get the start nailed. That was always going to be the strong point of the BMW, and then it was just about getting my head down. I had a few sort of issues with audio in the first laps as well, so it was a bit stressful. But I think it was kind of those that made the race. I was really gutted to see Charlie disconnect. That's not the way you want to settle a battle like that, especially because it was so close. We were sort of trading fastest laps and attempts here and there every lap. And like at Bathurst, he was quick through the corners. I just had the measure down the straights. So it was shaping up for a nice battle, so gutted to see that, but it's definitely only a matter of time before he gets a win. But yeah, just really pleased to finally get that result, because I had a really difficult race with internet connection issues and hitting Tim last time. It was probably gone from my worst race to one of my best, so really chuffed with that.
Well, from zero to hero, as they say, but also a good result for Tim as well, taking, I think it was 4th place at the end of it all. So a good score for you guys at HF Impala A. You came into Kyalami level with Simply Race in terms of the team's championship on 216 points. But this has put you as the hunted for Laguna Seca next week, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, those pesky real-life racing commitments are getting in the way of me being able to compete next week. But so Tim's going to be a bit of a lone wolf. So it was all about maximising the result tonight to try and get as many teams points as possible. I don't think we could have done much better. Tim did a great job to keep Haley and Jim behind him for the majority of that one, despite having a brake pedal which was playing up. So it was a really, really good team result. I was honestly really surprised, because I knew Tim was starting further down. When I saw him P3 at the end of the first couple of laps, I was thinking, wow, he's got an absolutely mega start. So yeah, it was a really great result for the team. I think Angus was P9 as well, so really cool to have us all in the top 10.
Yeah, I think Tim had one of the standout. I think it was 5 abreast going through the kink and into Crowthorne for the first time. So Fullbrook, right. You absolute madman, is all I'm saying on that one.
Alex, I'm going to jump in here as well myself. Just looking, Michael, at the Drivers' Championship, you and Tim are now tied on points with 150 each going into the last round. So who is driver number 1 in the HF Impala A team? Who's going to call team orders and go for that championship? Will you battle hard, or will you be concentrating more on the team championship when it comes to the last round at Laguna?
Well, you are really throwing the spanners in the works tonight, aren't you? Well, I'd like to point out that my number is 861 and his is 862. So, interpret that how you will. But usually I think that makes me number 1 driver. But yeah, like I said, unfortunately, I can't make Laguna Seca. So Tim's going to be a bit of a lone wolf on that one. But yeah, I'm sure he'll bring back some good points for the team's championship, because that's been our focus this year, really. Obviously, a great feeling to get the win, but yeah, the teams has sort of been our priority. Just like to say a big thanks to everyone at SSR for putting on the stuff that they do. It's been great for all of us at HF Impala to join and just have so much fun, and it's a really great service. So I would recommend to anyone watching on the stream right now, go and sign up.
Thank you for the kind words, Michael. Everybody's always welcome, and we do our best to put on these events. But it's as well as us organising, it's you drivers that make it as well. So thank you as well.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
Well, actually, whilst we've got him in the interview waiting room, let's bring in the lone wolf for next week. HF Impala A's Tim Fullbrook. Tim, some really good defensive work there. Obviously, Steve Haley got the better of you in the latter stages, but still a good 4th place after last time out, where teammates hitting each other wasn't exactly the best look, and Michael's obviously just discussed about that. But to get a 4th place here at at Kyalami when you guys were both pretty quick around here in the Genesis in Season 1. That must be a good feeling. But obviously that puts you guys sort of like ahead in the team standings going into Laguna Seca in a week's time.
Yeah, first of all, really happy with the result today. I mean, I'm really proud of Mike. I can't explain how happy we are to be part of this championship and part of this little community here at Simsport. So yeah, really happy with the result. All in all, I mean, to get P4 from where I was on the grid, I'm very chuffed with that. I'm a bit annoyed it couldn't be just that little bit more. It would have been really good to get a podium, especially as it was on the cards, and the car clearly had the pace. But great battling with Daniel, Stephen and Aaron right at the end there, and that's what it's all about. You know, a well fought P4 is just as enjoyable as a lonely P4, lonely P2 or P1 kind of thing. So yeah, really happy with the race.
Well done, Tim. Steve, you got any questions to ask Tim?
No, mate, I mean, obviously it would have been good to see the two teammates battling it out. I was just pointing out, Tim, to Michael, that you guys are now level on points as well as teammates in the Drivers' Championship, but obviously, unfortunately, Michael can't make the final round, but that would have been an interesting battle to watch as well as the team battle. But no, absolutely amazing racing from you tonight, and you know, to defend like you did as much as you did and keep it all clean was absolutely, you know, awesome, mate. Fantastic to watch, so just a well done from me.
Brilliant, thank you. Yeah, like you say, to be both of us tied on the same amount of points means we're clearly both doing an equally good job. I think to step up into the BMW has been quite a step forward in terms of our pace and our competitiveness. Obviously, there's still a little bit of a gap to the Simply Race guys that we'd like to bridge at some point, but I think today was another step in the right direction. It proved that we can fight if the occasion suits us. So I think us being tied on points isn't with your divisive words, Mr. Steve Proudly, as to who's number one. I think it just shows that we're equally doing a good job. And although Mike's might have 861 on the car, I think we both here for the team and to enjoy it.
I think, Alex, we have sparked a little fire there, haven't we? It's team numbers may change next season.
Well, all I'm going to say is, Mr. Proudly, you poked the bear first with the stick. Come on,
guys. We clashed last time out. What more do you want to see? You've just got over it.
Well done, boys, and great racing. And as I said to Michael, thank you very much for being part of the community and making the racing what it is. It's not just the organising, it's the drivers, it's the racing. So thank you again, Tim.
Brilliant. Thank you to yourself, Steve, and Alex for doing a fantastic job.
Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it. So that really rounds out everything tonight, Steve. Titles go down to the wire next week at Laguna Seca, and it's all to play for the final round of the season. I can't wait. Absolutely, mate, and I'm looking forward to it as well. But obviously, we've got this big race on Friday to just tuck away, as it were. So yeah, everybody tuning, please, on Friday evening. We believe we're going live from around sort of maybe 10 to 7 in the evening, British summer time, for qualifying, and then a 3-hour race at Silverstone with some real-world drivers, and one of those being Jenson Button, alongside some very fast sim racers. So it will be an absolutely awesome spectacle, and it is going to be streamed live on the YouTube channel by a Simply Race, Mike Yao, who brings all our streams to life, with myself commentating as well. So please come and join us. Yeah, and don't forget, before we go, if you're watching on the official Simsport Racing YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and why not give this video a like. Thank you very much for watching as we say goodbye to Kyalami, and we then say hello to Wine Country in the US of A next Wednesday at 8 PM UK time for the concluding round of Assetto Corsa Competizione GT4 Season 2 here on Simsport Racing. So this is Alex Goldschmidt and Steve Proudly signing off for now, and we all hope you enjoy the show this coming Friday from around 7 o'clock BST for the virtual 3 hours of Silverstone. Good night and stay safe.
Good night.